Hey guys, Crystal Grace here. Welcome back to another pick a card reading. This one is all about finances and what is blocking them. So we have 3 piles to choose from, pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. Quick disclaimer while you are connecting with one of the piles, if a reading does not resonate, if a reading starts to put you on a downward spiral, please opt off the reading and trust I do not sit here and conjure negative energies or messages to ruin your day, evening or night. If you're looking for a personal reading, head over to my Etsy store. Link is in description. And with that said, let's get into it. Let's find out what is blocking your finances. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose codes of the seeds, the blueprint is within you. Take the next step. So what I'm kind of picking up with this pile is you could be in a state of isolation or in a state of like introspection. I do see the Hermit in my third eye. Like, you know, when it's sort of like the butterfly, right? The butterfly is a caterpillar, and just before it's ready to bloom, it is like cocooned, right? So I feel like you're cocooning yourself right now. So you could be hibernating. You could be in a state of loneliness here. Maybe you don't have the funds to be going out and socializing. So you've had to like realign your focuses on your finances, possibly reining it in is what I feel. Some of you may not be working at this time, or maybe the work that you are currently doing isn't providing enough funding for you to live a healthy, quality life. So let's get into it. I also feel with these codes of seeds, like what's blocking your finances. Obviously, we're going to pull the tarot, but the download I'm getting with this is that it could potentially be you. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It could be the fact that you have the code within you to make finances come to you, which means what I mean by that is you have already obtained the knowledge. You have a skill set that you can make, you can turn into, like, that you can monetize is what I'm hearing. So you can make money from a skill that you already have. You already have the coding within you. You know, when you think about our astrology birth charts, that's our blueprint, in my opinion, to this life. You can actually view certain aspects of your birth chart to tell you what field, what industry is going to be most ideal for you to make a lot of money as well. Now, good astrologists will be able to do this, but what I might do is I might actually find the time and maybe... I don't know. I might be able to do something in a reading based off that. I can't remember the knowledge, which placement it is. I'm pretty sure it's Saturn. But if you can remember, if you're an astrology guru, drop it in the comments for me, please. What part of the chart? I know you can, because I've had mine read, and it's so weird because like the lady who read mine had no idea I worked in mining, and I specifically work with explosives in mining. That's very specific, and she saw that in my birth chart, which is so weird, right? She had no idea. So a good astrologist is able to pick where's the best industry for you to work in, but even right down to which part of that industry is best suited for you. So let's get into it. If that resonates, this is your pile. So let's we will take reversals. Let's call upon Archangel Metatron for this one. And we'll do Archangel Michael. Show us what is blocking pile 1. I'm hearing wrong deck, but what I'm going to do is going to do bottom deck energy. I'm going to get these shadow cards. I'm going to do 3 of these. The shame and guilt. Okay, let me fix this. Excuse me. There's something about releasing, having to release something. So bear with me. We've got 3 of Swords in upright. We have Queen of Wands in the reversal. So it's interesting that the Queen of Wands has come out. That's definitely confirming that you are not following a vision. Like you have the idea within you to be able to bring these finances forward, to bring forth towards you. But you are being like, you're resenting it. You could be feeling very shameful or guilty about these talents that you portray. This could be something that is internalizing, that has been internalized. Maybe your family do not approve of these skills here. But my throat chakra is like playing up. So it is early morning, but maybe some of you can sing. Maybe you can, this skill or talent that you portray, not portray, that you obtain, I guess, has something to do with voice. Let's start with the world, okay? The overall energy here is what is blocking the finances. Yeah, I definitely feel like there seems to be stagnation surrounding your finances. Check, confirm. And this stagnation has obviously, for some of you, been going on for some time. So you're always trying to make ends meet, and which has somewhat probably led you to feeling very incomplete, very empty as well. So never having enough is always going to put you in a downward spiral. You know, once we are working on our money and our success, our confidence just naturally builds without us even knowing. And like, it's possible. You can literally come from nothing and end up in your own little version of an empire. You don't need to live like, Cleopatra. You can be your own version of Cleopatra, but she's probably the wrong choice of words given like the ending of her world. But yeah, I definitely feel like what's blocking you here is that you're already in a lack mindset. So you need to release that. And the 3 of Swords is definitely confirming that. And the reason why you need to release it, pile 1, is because you already have the vision that you are literally blocking. You're resenting a gift or a talent that you have, most likely because you've had people tell you like to either have told you that you should be shamed, feeling shameful about it, or guilty about some kind of gift you already have. And that's fairly toxic. So you have to remember there will be people around you who resent the gifts that you have. So instead of trying to like promote that and praise you and push you towards your goals, they will pull you down to their level because of envy and jealousy. And that's sort of the vibe I have. So I remember when I was a kid, I could sing, and I can sing, but I can't sing in front of people. Like, I freeze up. And the reason for that is because my sibling used to always tell me how shit I was and I couldn't sing, and just continuously put me down every time I would try and sing. So it totally diminished my confidence and my soul in the fact that I can sing. I can sing, just not in front of people. And then I can sing in front of my good long-term friends, but only when I'm under the influence. So they all know I can sing, but I can't sing sober, and I can't sing in front of people I don't know. People I love and that I know that support me, I can sing in front of them, but for strangers, hell no. So I feel like the fact that energy in me, I don't really tend to share too much of my life. But the fact that's coming through, it has to resonate with this pile, because you already have this gift. You already have a vision. You know you can do something really well, but you've obviously had people in your environment telling you, that's shit, you don't know what you're doing, stop doing that, like, you're fucking terrible, and really, like, demonizing you, and in a very derogative way is what I'm picking up. You need to release that, right? And that's what the Three of Swords is inviting you to consider or needing you to do. The reason why you're lacking success is because of this Three of Swords, right? It's very heartbreaking to have family members put you down when they know you're good. Like, it's very heartbreaking to be raised in a family, or even be around friends who are it's very obvious that you have a gift, you have a skill, yet they make you feel sad about it, they traumatize you about it, and make you think that it isn't good. So I definitely feel like with the Three of Swords, you need to move on from this, and you may need to just find a way to reconcile, or reconcile is probably the wrong choice of words, you know, approach, if it is family members. Like, I know with my sister a few years ago, I told her, I was like, I'll never forget how, like, you bullied me, like, you called me fat my whole life. So not only do I have like growing up as an adult, body, sense of body dysmorphia, like, you always made me feel I was less than, like, my whole life. And yet I got an apology out of her. So, you know, we're in our 40s now, and this didn't happen not that long ago. Our relationship is done like a full circle. So we are back on track. And there was a minute there in over the decades where we weren't very close, but we're still not super close. We never will be. But maybe that's going to resonate with somebody for me to go on that random tangent. But release needs to be done here. That may take some of you a little bit more work than others. But it's a state of recovery, the Three of Swords. So you need to recover from whatever you have been exposed to in the sense of bullying about this gift, because you 100% have one, pile one. And the reason why I know that is because of the Queen of Wands coming out, right? Like, when you don't have the support of people around you, you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to, like, you may utilize shopping, is what I'm hearing, as a way to make yourself feel better, which isn't the best thing to be doing if you are failing in the finance department, right? And the Queen of Wands also, right, in the reversal, it talks about people being very jealous, right? People starting arguments because they're selfish. They don't want to see you strive. Like, they don't want to see you strive towards success. I think you have a lot of people around you at this time who are very vengeful, very demanding of your time. So the more demanding they are of your time, the less time you have to work on your visions, right? To work on, like, your passions. So you already know what you are capable of doing. What's blocking you here is the people around you, is the people who are telling you that that's not a gift, you can't make money from that, that's a bad decision. So I feel like you need to reestablish a sense of self and tell these people to, like, fuck off. I definitely feel like do not sit in an energy of resentment here. You need to, like, sit in an energy of forgiveness, because we have the Three of Swords and we have this forgiveness energy in the resentment card. So once you release that resentment or forgive those who have sort of took you off the path that you were meant to be on, because it's all a part of your blueprint, I feel like things will start unfolding very naturally for you. Now, we have this seductive allure. So we're asking the question, what's blocking you, right? And this card comes out. So promiscuous energy is definitely coming through for me. So some of you could be, not all of you, some of you could find that when you get into relationships and you start being sexually active with somebody, this can put you on a path of blocked finances, because you may have a tendency to just get simply focused on the person and totally forget about your own life goals and journey. And again, this is something that is not uncommon. Like, lots of people can go through this when they are going to connections. It is a skill to be able to master when you are pursuing somebody, that you do not stop pursuing yourself. That's not something that happens overnight, and it tends to happen with people who have got abandonment issues, have got stuff that happened in childhood, that feeling of being needed and wanted. So there's a whole lot there to unpack, but you'll know if that resonates with you. And then we've got the avoidance card. So I would say you are avoiding following this vision, this journey, solely on the basis of the people around you, and maybe you lacking like confidence in the fact that you can make money from it, you are good at it, is what I feel. It's easy to just carry on in life thinking that following our dreams and goals, like especially our creative endeavors, is pointless and useless, especially when that's all we've ever been told with the people around us. I also think the shame and the guilt, if this is something to do with like, you know, body and sexual, like promiscuous behavior, each to their own. If that's your jam, that's your jam. If it isn't, that's also great. But if you have any shame or guilt around this vision, you definitely need to release that. And you've got to stop feeling shameful and guilty because other people have made you feel shameful and guilty. Fuck them. You know what's great, pile one? Money. Having fucking lots of it. Doing what you want, going where you want, living alone, not having to live with anyone. It's fucking heaven. There's all different ways you can make money. It doesn't have to result in, selling your body or anything like that. There's so many different ways you can make money. And I think for you guys, you really need to look at your birth chart, and you really need to get an astro guru to specifically tell you what industry is going to be best for you if you're at a loss. If you're like, I don't know what I'm good at. If you have no vision, you have absolutely nothing, you can't put anything on the drawing board, then that would be your best place. If you are interested, let me know, put something in the comments, and I can do a bit of research in regards to the cheapest person in the market who's going to be able to do that kind of reading, because I paid somebody, I think, about $150 or something. So maybe there's somebody cheaper who can do that. And I'll also look at whether or not there's a way I can do it, like a star sign reading. Maybe I can do it. You'll just have to look at your birth chart and see what planet is in what area. I think it's Saturn, or it might have something to do with the North Node as well. I can't remember, but I did it like 10 years ago or something. Not 10 years ago. It would have been 5 or 6 years ago, sorry. All right, that's what I've got for you. I really hope this has helped and not hindered. Sending much love and light to you, Pile 1. Bye. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. You guys could be master manifestors. And if you don't really resonate with that concept or that title, I would say that is one of your major blocks here when it comes to finances, that you haven't realized that you have the power within to attract. You may be the kind of people everything you touch turns to gold, with having the Midas touch here. I also feel like the more you shower yourself with positive thoughts and confidence, the more financial abundance will come to you. And I also feel for some of you, which might be a bit off center for you to hear, it could be in the form of marriage, right? Meeting somebody that, showers you with money, half your luck. I've been looking for a sugar daddy, but now I'm up past that age. I'm my own sugar daddy. So no 40-year-old can be a sugar baby. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. But I'm just kidding. I'm all about making my own money, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it wouldn't be nice. So I kind of feel like that for some of you, you could already be in that mindset that you would rather, take care of yourself, focus on self-love, and self-care in the sense of somebody, taking action towards you to provide for you. So you may have more of a traditional outlook on life, right? Like if you're a woman. That is. Like it's like you can attract anything you like. I think you guys are very, very stunning. I think you're very attractive. You might have commitment issues, is what I'm hearing. You might find it hard to commit. Your suitors you might find them to be rather boring as well, I'm hearing. But let's get into it. So show us what is blocking pile 2 from their finances. Too many. I'm hearing like you can have whatever you want, right? But it's like you're choosing to do everything the hard way. Want 3 of these. Isn't it funny? We've got explore feelings and the Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, okay. Escapism. So we've got Queen of Cups reverse. We have the Sun reverse. We've got Two of Wands reverse. We've got shedding illusions, explore feelings, having hate, and escapism. Escapism is definitely giving me the vibe of like non-committal energy. All right, so the overall energy with the Two of Wands to be there. It's something about bad planning maybe. And I kind of feel like what could be blocking your finances here is a couple of different things. For some of you, it could be just simply bad planning. Planning in the fact that you think you know what you want, but in turn you don't. For others of you, you could be in a state of overanalyzing. You could be so focused on trying to maybe attract the money to you because you know you can manifest anything. So maybe there's this strong fixation on attracting the right person who's going to shower you with like, gifts, love, and money. And for others of you, there could be this sense of impatience, right? Like if things aren't falling into place as quickly as you perceive they should, then like you give up. I feel like you give up having hope, right? And that could come down to like when you are meeting people, potential suitors, if it's not moving at a certain speed, you may have a tendency to get off that ship, right? Escape that relationship or that connection because it's not like the plan isn't going as quickly as you would assume. Now, other ways the Two of Wands could be suggested as a blockage is you constantly experiencing unexpected obstacles, right? And then these obstacles could actually may hinder you taking action towards goals because you're too focused on the obstacle as opposed to the goal itself. Either way, I do feel financial instability is being felt here, but not to the point where it worries you. Like, I feel like, yeah, you could have more, but you're also living in a very comfortable sort of state. And if that doesn't resonate, just let it go. There's something about planning here that's getting in the way. So when I think about the Queen of Cups in reverse, is it possible that what gets in the way of your finances, or what's blocking your finances, is your choices in love? Like, the people that you pursue aren't the kind of people that are going to, aren't the kind of people you're trying to manifest. So I'm hearing time wasters. There's just the wrong kind of men, the wrong kind of women you are focusing on or attracted to. That the bad planning with the Two of Wands could simply just mean that you need to rewrite your wish list as to what you're looking for in a person, because the one that you have floating around in the ethers is not the one that's going to attract the financial stability, security that you obviously long for or desire in a partnership. So I feel for this pile, you want to build an empire with somebody. You're very fixated and you're very focused on that. You want to build to get a life with somebody else, as opposed to trying to be Miss Independent or Mr. Independent and build everything for yourself to be like, look what I did. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm definitely more in that energy than I've given up on trying to find somebody to build an empire with. So I've just had to rewrite my list and go, well, I'm going to build my fucking empire. I'm going to be the person I wish to be with. And I've also given up on that. I'm very happy with my cats, and I'm happy just doing me things at this time. Maybe at 55 I'll find somebody I'm remotely interested in settling down with. But you know, I think the more you sit in a state of insecurity, I think for a lot of you, you can become quite fragile, right? Fragile in the sense of you giving up hope very easily. What's other ways? Another way we can look at the Queen of Cups as blocked finances is maybe you're neglecting your emotional health. So again, it has something to do with your love life. I feel like what's blocking your like your finances is your choices in love. So maybe when you're meeting suitors and they're not, loving you and, worshipping you, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be worshipped, that you desire, this starts to impact your mental health, your emotional well-being, right? I also think what's blocking it, and the reason why this is because you're probably too generous in the relationship with finances than they are. I actually feel like I'm getting it now. It's taken a minute. What's blocking you? It has something to do with relationships, but it's like you get into relationships with people thinking that you're going to build a life together. But in fact, it's just you putting your hand in your pocket. You're paying for everything while they just sort of freeload off you or just put in the bare minimum when it comes to financial stability and building together. And I think that's what the major block is here. It's making bad decisions with the wrong lovers. Because I think for a lot of you, I'm confident to say that you want to build your empire with somebody else. You want that family security, stability. You want that 10 of Pentacles is what I see in my mind's eye. You want family status. You want to be able to drop the kids off at the school in the nice car, and the husband's, got some great job. I just see a very, I don't want to say I just see a very successful sort of image, right? And that must be the image you have. If it's not, maybe not your pile. And there's nothing wrong with having this desire, nothing at all, right? You long for this kind of like vision because you know your children will be well looked after, is what I'm hearing. So I think what's blocking you here, pile 2, is that the choices that you're making with potential suitors to build the empire with aren't the right people. They're the kind of people who will take from you, not give to you. And I think you're not picking up on those signs very quickly. It's happening at a later date. And by the time it happens, you're trying to rebuild your wealth again. So I think you're probably great savers. You have money or you have a good job or like there's something there, but your love life seems to be hindering your wealth. Now the Sun card would indicate blocked happiness, maybe. Like what's hindering your finances, what's blocking your finances. Like the Sun card in reverse is all about blocked happiness. And it can talk, it's like going from being optimistic. It's like what blocks your happiness is like in the initial stages of maybe meeting somebody that you feel like you can build that lifestyle with. You may put your rose-colored glasses on. Everything, you're very optimistic, you're very confident. You feel like this person's being very truthful to you, very open. But as time unfolds, they're not giving you the love that you desire. You start becoming very oppressed in the relationship. And I have a funny feeling that for a lot of you, you don't realize you're in that downward spiral before it's too late. You're already there. So you don't actually see it happening until you're in the crux of it. So you could be falling in love with like sociopaths, narcissists, master manipulators. Like you've probably dated them all, is what I feel. And that is what's blocking your finances. You're not taking more of a, Queen of Swords approach, a more objective, constructive approach in your dating life when you are choosing your suitors. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like it's all about lessons and growing. What's wrong would be is if this is truly resonating, you continuing on this path, falling for complete fucking losers and not trying to find this person that you desire to build your empire with, is what I feel. The non-committal energy I was picking up can also be aligned with the Sun in reverse, like feeling bored in your relationships, right? That should be a simple sign for you guys. Soon as the person is being boring, not like trying to like bring, vibrant energy into your connection, that's your sign, pile 2. They're not your person. You want the lifestyle, the happy, I don't want to say it's like keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle, but kind of like that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as long as you've got the money to pay for that lifestyle. We've got shedding illusions. Now, I see this in 2 different ways. I see shedding illusions that thinking people can offer you that lifestyle when they can't. And there's plenty of signs in the initial beginning of dating or courting these people. And then for others of you, maybe you need to shed the illusion that maybe keeping up with the Joneses front is maybe not what is going to bring financial stability towards you. Maybe trying to find somebody who's a bit more frugal in areas of the life that you think you should spend more money in. So some of you may have to revisit where's the most beneficial place to be investing time, energy, and money. Is it your clothing attire or is it education or something like that? Take it how it feels. But we've got reality, honesty, and self-love at the bottom of this card. And I just feel like there needs to be some kind of reality check here, because the reality that you're kind of looking at isn't working. It seems like it's a bad idea. We've got explore feelings, so authentic, closure, and peace. So maybe exploring feelings I don't feel like exploring feelings is the right thing. It's more about how about unpacking grab a pen and paper, think about the people that you have invested time and energy in, thinking that you could build a good empire with, and think, think about the signs that you missed. Think about why you missed those signs and kind of unpack that. Like, why did I miss that? And I feel like for a lot of you, you were so focused on the end game, which is like having this lifestyle, this empire, that you forgot to like get your checklists and make sure that they were going to fit the project, so to speak. We've got self-love and self-care here. So, and when the Queen of Cups is in reverse as well, this is telling me that you have endured a lot of emotional neglect and emotional abuse. So definitely feel like what's blocking your finances here is that you've stopped focusing on self-love and self-care in these relationships, which naturally hinder finances, because when we're not focusing on self-love and self-care, that can be taken into the workplace, and that can lead us to getting sacked, not wanting to go to work, which all like ravels us not having good finances as well. So there's a lot to sort of unpack here, but I don't feel like it's going to take much work in order to get you back on the path that you need to release these blockages when it's around your finances. I think for most of you, you do have a good job that pays well. The problem is here that's blocking your finances is your choices in love. You're surrounding yourself around people who just take from you but don't invest energy or time into you. And that's fact. Like at the end of the day, it's always best to be around people who want to contribute to your table, not just take from your table because you have more than them. So I feel like maybe reviewing what they do for work is a good place to start if this is really resonating. Like, I refuse to date somebody that does not earn a similar wage to me. And the reason why that is because I can really resonate with this pile, like in the sense of not so much building in the sense of always ending up or pursuing people who only ever took from me financially, always left me off in a worse financial position than I was before I went into a relationship with them. Always. Like there's quite a few boyfriends that I've had that only put me in a worse financial position than they actually enhanced my life. They de-enhanced it. So I feel like that's the main message here. Let me know if that resonated, and if it does, I am sorry, but hopefully I'm going to kickstart or put a firecracker up your bum to make sure that you say no to the losers and start looking for the signs of red alert for people who are just going to take from you and not contribute. So I do hope that message has not hindered but helped, and I send all my love and light to you and this situation. I'll see you next time. Bye. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose We Are Nature, being grounded, embodiment, and living in connection. There's a little body here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little body. I don't know, this might sound a little bit morbid, but I don't know if some of you are feeling like, I don't know, maybe dead inside. Or maybe you feel dead inside when it comes to finances and money and wealth, right? So that could be for many different reasons. It could be just like you've had enough of chasing money, like money does not bring you happiness. You would rather have like a minimalist lifestyle, like live in a tiny home, live in the bush. The idea of chasing a career and working yourself into the ground is like makes you feel dead inside. Maybe you've already done that. I am hearing something like you need to share your story. You have lots of stories to tell when it comes to share about finances. So you could be really good at saving. You don't need to be in a high-paying job because you have mastered how to work with nature or something like that. Like you don't need a lot. I feel like for a lot of you who have picked this pile, like you don't need all the fancy meals and you don't need all the fancy clothes. Like all you want is peace. So maybe what's blocking your finances at this time is that. Like maybe you could be in a high-paying job at the moment, but you keep getting smashed with all these bills and you're still left with nothing. And then you think, fuck, why? So it could be the fact that the universe is trying to push you to a more minimalist lifestyle where you're working less, you're living with nature, like you're living in a like tiny little home or something like that. So until you start pursuing your calling or something like that, it's sort of like what's blocking your finances could be it could be the universe, really. It could be Mother Nature, because Mother Nature wants you in nature. Okay, I know that might sound really warped and really tripped out, but that's what I'm feeling. Like I look at it, you need rest. You need a rest. So, and a thing that's coming through is when I had this high pressure job, corporate job, and fuck, I had 2 phones, emails never stopped, the WhatsApp groups never stopped. It was just fucking hectic. And I ended up breaking my femur, right? The biggest bone in your body, because the universe for months was telling me to slow the fuck down. Like, and well, breaking your femur, well, I had no choice. So I could only walk on one leg for like 2 months. It was just no weight bearing on the broken leg. And still 8 years later, I'm still fixing that fucking leg. So I kind of feel like for some of you, this could be like a heads up. Finances are going to become blocked very soon if you don't slow the fuck down, or if finances are already blocked, it's because you didn't listen. It's because you didn't slow down. It's like the universe was like screaming at you to slow down. Like, you know, you're going too fast. You're doing too much. You're unstable. Like you could have turned really moody and angry and like just felt dead inside, soulless is what I'm hearing. And so that is what's blocked your finances. So you could be very much happy with just earning minimum wage because you're really good at saving, but maybe you had a really high paying job, or you do have a high paying job. And because you're not listening, the universe is sending all sorts of weird fucking like mini tower moments, like financial tower moments, in order to get you out of maybe the environment that you're currently in, which seems a bit counterproductive with the topic we're discussing. But sometimes moving out of toxic environments and putting yourself in a more relaxed one, you're going to have more money, right? Because you're not trying to fix all your physical problems, mental problems, emotional problems with the money. If that makes sense. If it makes sense, this is your pile. If it doesn't make sense, then not your pile. But that's the message. That's the energy coming through. Let's go. Let's see what is blocking pile 3's finances. Let me just move that. Hello. What are you doing? We have the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Cups. On the bottom of the deck, we have 6 of Cups in reverse. Masking the truth, confronting fears, making peace. And on the bottom of the deck, no boundaries. Interesting. 6 of Cups is the overall energy. Yeah, I definitely feel like what's blocking your finances is the job itself, possibly. Like if you're feeling really bored at work and feeling very frustrated, like I can't, you know what I get here? You put in all the work at work, but everyone else gets the promotion. Everyone else gets the praise, but you're the working horse is sort of what I feel with this pile. So what's blocking your finances is that you're very forgiving. When you see other people succeeding, like you find ways to maybe forgive the boss or like the people who get the promotion over you. I feel like for a lot of you, a lot of people use your ideas, take credit for your work, and you have to just sit by the wayside. Just keep working really, really hard for everyone else, but you're not reaping any of the rewards for it, especially financially. Because I think I think for a lot of you, you already are financially independent. Okay, there is this energy or element of financial independence here, but the issue here, or what's blocking the financial independence, is like you seem to be stuck in an environment that does not appreciate you, that does not like respect you, or like does not allow you progression. Okay. And the higher you go up, it seems like the less fucking work that they do, to be honest. Yeah, they've got to have some big conversations, but at the end of the day, the front line are the hardest working people. And I feel like for a lot of you, you could be on the front line, and then the front line carries the company, in my opinion. And I think that's a pretty accurate opinion to have, especially I've worked in many different industries. Well, not many, but enough to know. So that's sort of what I'm getting, right? For others of you, it could be just the fact that you are holding yourself back because you're stuck. You're stuck for some reason. Maybe you're stuck because of family as well. Maybe you feel like obligated or something. So looking at the 9 of Wands as what's blocking your finances, maybe like with it in the reverse. Yeah, look, I definitely, it's a card that will talk about fatigue and burnout in the reversal in the workplace, specifically when we're asking about career and finances. So I think the next, I don't know, some of you are interested in learning tarot and stuff. So I think the next topic I was planning on doing was career and finances, just to help people connect with the tarot. But 9 of Wands is definitely a card that can talk about a person struggling at work. So what's blocking your finances is your fatigue and your burnout, because when you're fatigued and burnout and then you have to go and spend money on, you know, massages, pampering days, therapists, that hinders your financial capital, right? It hinders like your savings. It can also indicate that you ignoring this and continuing to push through, like it pushes you to the point of like, you know, breaking your leg, right? Having to not go to work for 4 months. So if you don't have the right insurances, you're totally fucked, right? That will totally set somebody back. So if you don't have insurance on your income, you definitely need to consider that. In Australia, we call it income protection. You can choose to pay it through a third-party company, or we can do it through superannuation. So that's the way I do it, and then I don't have to pay anything. It just comes out of the super. But definitely look into that if that is resonating. And if you can have income protection on personal loans as well here in Australia. I don't know in the other countries, but if you can, just share that in the comments for the other people in the audience. But definitely look at insurances as well on loans and income. And that gives you peace of mind. So when you keep ignoring the signs and then you know, break a leg, or like, I don't know, God forbid, like you have to like call in sick for several months, you've got the financial backing there to not have to stress out about money. Other ways we can look at the 9 of Wands in regards to what's blocking your finances is like maybe your stubbornness, like maybe you worked really hard to get the job that you have, right? And so you don't want to give up. Like you don't want to refuse. It's like you don't want to give up on the job that you've always wanted. But the issue we have here with the 6 of Cups in reverse is the fact that you're not getting the promotions that you deserve, right? And when you're in an environment where you're not feeling appreciated and you know, loved and stuff, like that really takes a toll on a person's confidence, right? And that will put you in a downward spiral, and you don't want to get to a point where it's too late. Bam, you wake up one day and you're totally ruined, like mentally, emotionally, and physically. That's not going to help you. That's going to totally block your finances. So I feel like for some of you, this is more about a message what's going to come if you don't do something now, if you don't act now. It's going to, like, the universe is going to push you to the brink where it's going to have a financial block. So it's better to start, getting your ducks in a row now to go and have a more minimalist lifestyle. If you've got a home to sell it. If you can make money and then relocate and find a smaller home and have a cruisier, easier job, don't look at it as like a defeat. Don't look at it as like you've given up and like you've got nothing to offer. I think you guys have always strived for success and you've been super successful, but you don't need to keep striving for this pile 3. It's time for your time. Like, it's time for you to go and relax in nature, get more grounded, focus on yoga, focus on like whatever it is that brings inner peace to you. Like, don't close yourself off to the possibilities of having a more simpler lifestyle, because you chasing the career is likely what's blocking your finances. Is the message, and all 3 piles have been very unique. So I'm really happy about that in the sense of trying to help the audience. So 9 of Cups. What's blocking? I just feel like it's on the back end, right? What's blocking? It's a card that will talk about recognition in the workplace, being satisfied with the success and the financial abundance. You're not, you can't be satisfied here, because if people are taking credit for your work and not respecting you or showing appreciation for everything you're doing, that's not satisfaction. Like, that's nothing but disappointment, right? Like, I feel like for you guys, you want to see the fruit of your labor. Like, you want to see the end, like the outcome. And I feel like for a lot of you could be working in environments where you never get to see that. Like, it's like you go and build something or create something and somebody else goes and presents to the hierarchy. And that's toxic as. Like, there's nothing more annoying when people will do that. So I feel like what's blocking your financial, like, wealth maybe it's like a lack of connection with you and like Mother Nature. Like, I feel like you belong in nature. I feel like you belong in a more holistic environment, holistic industry. So a bit similar to pile 1 in the fact that look at your birth chart. And I got a birth chart reading specifically surrounding career like about 6 years ago. And it was just as I entered mining. And I kid you not, like, the lady told me that I would be best to make money and well suited in mining, but specifically explosives. And she didn't know that I'd already got a job. I'd already been in the job for maybe 6 months or something. So that's crazy, right? So your birth chart has this intel for you. And I feel like if you were to go and explore that pile 3, what you're going to find is you're going to have a lot of satisfaction and success in chasing a career that has something to do with holistic, like businesses. So it could be like, a herbal shop or like a yoga studio, something like that, a garden, like a nursery, something random. Like, if you've got the financial abundance to go and start a business, that would be more beneficial for you, is what I feel. Like, you already have something that you could turn into something greater and more successful financially, because you're not going to be dealing with all this bullshit that is draining your energy and burning you out in your current job, because the current job must be quite toxic, is what I'm hearing. So we've got unmasking the truth, and I feel like unmasking the truth, I see only what the mind is prepared to know. So you need to, like, what's blocking your happiness here is you ignoring the truth. You're ignoring, like, your soul yearning for a different lifestyle, for a different environment, is what I feel. You are only seeing, like, it's like you may have went to university and you worked really fucking hard to get really good grades. So you feel like, no, I have to stay in this job because this is what I've been training for all my life. No, you don't. You don't at all, pile 3. You can go and work in many different industries and be super successful. yeah, you might have to start at the bottom again, but that's the best place to start. You can't be successful in a job if you don't start at the bottom, in my opinion. You've got confronting fears. So what's blocking your financial wealth here is you having a fear that taking this leap of faith towards a more minimalist lifestyle, you may have an interest in pursuing a minimalist lifestyle, but maybe you don't trust that you will be financially supported, you'll be financially abundant. So you need to confront those fears, and you need to tap into that, you know, that bravery energy that you portray, like you have that, it's innate. You may need to heal your connection with money as well. You may just be in the jobs that you have been in because you knew you would have financial protection. Okay, so trust that the universe will always provide. And I think like the making peace, all right, is sort of like, make peace with yourself. I feel like this is your soul sort of coming through with the message. Like, forgive yourself for putting yourself in toxic work environments for money or something like that. Like putting up with really toxic bosses, like real tyrants, right? Real psychopaths. Like I've had some real doozies with bosses. I'm like, fuck you, Satan. Like, who are you? Anyway, I personally think bosses who are fucking psycho just need a root or something like that. But there's plenty of them out there. And I definitely feel like for this pile, you've been exposed to a lot of toxic people in the workplace who have just used you and abused you and like made you work harder than what you got paid for and harder than what you actually needed to work. So that is what I have for you. No boundaries, right? And that's not a nice way. That is confirming that you had no boundaries, right? I feel like when you allow people to use you and abuse you like that in the workplace, you're lacking self-respect, you're lacking self-care, right? And you're also limiting yourself. So I feel like what is blocking you is the fact that you have no boundaries. You need to find boundaries. I feel like for a lot of you, you need to get out of your high profile job and find an easier one where they pay you for every hour you work, and trust that everything will be okay. Trust that your financial independence will still flourish and grow because you're not surrounded by a bunch of like cockheads is what I'm hearing. I'm sorry for the Aussie slang of swearing, but it is what it is here. But yeah, that's what I've got for you. I really hope that has helped and not hindered. I hope that's clarified a few things for you. Sending much love and light at this time. Bye.